Hi everyone, and welcome to week 4 of the class. Getting close to the end of this thing, wrapping it up. So this week we're going to talk about marketing strategies. How do we define our target markets? How do we get to the people that we want to influence? Remember last week in the video I said, how do we find the 1% or the 10% that we want to get out there? Well, we're going to do that with a combination of things. We're going to talk about marketing objectives. You're going to read about the SOTAC method in your book. It's a good book. A good method is any to define something and how you want to get to it. Remember goal setting and target marketing and all the different things that we look at throughout your career here. Any method will really work so long as you follow the method and understand what you're doing with it. There's a lot of methods over the years that have come about. Right now I'm in a PhD program. One of the things I had to do was a time management course. And at the end of the course it asked me, well, what did you learn? And I said, well, after 35 years in business and taking at least 4 other time management courses, there wasn't a whole lot new to learn in here. What was important was just looking at what he said and following the steps as he laid it out. It's the methodology sometimes more so than the message. So as long as you have some kind of structure that you can follow and you follow it, that's what's critical, and understand it. So you've got this little method in here. So for your question today, you're going to talk about is social media just another channel in a communications mix, or is it fundamentally more than that? You're going to see some different things here. Remember, we're going to be talking about advertising, media, growth, audience, generalizations. Why does social media appeal to certain people? What's the advantages of it? What's its disadvantages? What's its limitations? What can it do for a company that other methods can't do? Then you've got your assignment. You're going to write a situational analysis for Facebook. So you're going to include the summary view, the competition, strengths and weaknesses. So you're going to do a little bit of a SWOT analysis in here. So look at this SOTAC method and kind of lay it out based on that. And I will remind you there are really 3 key parts to this. First is understanding the difference between strategy and tactics. Strategy is your overall goal, what you kind of want to achieve, whereas tactics start to narrow down to what you're actually going to do to achieve it. Then an action plan, which SOTAC also puts in here, is the stages, basically a calendar. Do you remember in one of the previous classes I talked about doing an editorial calendar for social media? Well, your action plan kind of defines when you're going to do what and put in there. And then finally, control. You always have to measure. You always have to come back and say, what is my benefit to this? In business terms, it's called ROI, return on investment. If I'm going to spend X amount of money, how much money am I going to make back over X? So X plus Y to define whether or not this is worth it. And there's a real good point that the book makes about this, that there are 3 constraints or 3 resources you have to look about in each part of the plan. And that's the people, that's the money, and that's the time involved in it. So as you're doing each part of the SOTAC plan, look at those 3 components. Then finally, for your homework, you have to write 10 marketing objectives and 10 communication objectives. It says be specific and utilize their current marketing mix for Apple to write your objectives. And what I'd like to see is the 10 marketing objectives tied to the 10 communication objectives. Remember, we're kind of doing integrated marketing here. So what I want to see you do is a marketing objective and then the communication objective, how you're going to do it, where you're going to do it, who's going to do it, when you're going to do it. Think about the 5 W's and the H. Who, what, when, where, why, and how. And how you're going to tie those together. Don't just give me 10 of one and 10 of another. Tie them together, so come up with essentially your marketing objective, which, if you want to look at another way, would be the strategy, and your communication objective would be the tactic. So if you have any questions this week, give me a shout. I'm around. Thanks.